Welcome back. We've been waiting for you. It's time to continue the divine deception, shall we? Now, when we last left off, we had Vel's first chapter, where we met Krish, our friend, a very excitable and headstrong Vel companion. They are certainly opinionated, to say the least. A bit, I don't want to call them arrogant, but you saw how they deferred to Vels when the chips were down, then immediately stepped up to take credit when the chips were off the table once again. So, we also met Yi, a family friend of Krish's, who was essentially strong-armed into the duats, which someone pointed out in the comments of the last video is very likely a stand-in for the triad in terms of actual gangs and the like. So, our poll question: do we think he has Krish's best interests at heart? And the survey says no, they do not. Which means I don't actually know what it's been too long, I don't know what my current chip balance is. But I did this wrong the first time we did this with betting a proportionate amount. So, we do 60. The idea is we bet the difference between. So, in this case, I'd be betting 34% of whatever my current chip total is. Idea is essentially everyone who participates in the poll gets a percentage of my chips to put towards an outcome. And this 34%, this difference goes into the pot. Yes, essentially betting all my chips on all of you. You all get an equal supply of chips. And that supply of my chips you bet based on their vote. So, one way or another, the difference comes back. The difference gets made up. If the majority loses, I lose that 34% of my chips. Because 67% of you would lose your share of chips. 33% of you would win your bet, and I'd get that share back. I'd lose that 34%. If it turns out we can't trust Yi, I get 67% of my chips back, but lose 33% of them. I net gain back that 34%. I think I did a bad job of explaining that, but essentially, The math works out. Math works out, I'm just terrible at explaining it. So, 34% of whatever our current total is. The answer is no. Oh, what a sad world you must live in. But okay, guess accepted. Now, let's bet on that fact. Oh, come on, you had to see this coming. This is the perfect time to cast a bet. So come on, let us gamble some chips away. How much will you be betting? We have 15 chips. 15. That works out to 5.1. So, rounding down, we'll bet 5 chips on it. Ah, that feels nice. It feels nice to have a proper bet going, to establish stakes. Okay then, let us continue. Okay, so... go back. This looks like hacking. Eye in the sky. Fucking reposts. I've seen that one like a dozen times. Or the mods. Whatever. Next page. Come on. It took like 7 seconds. Why were Kamapa's servers so painfully slow? They were like one of the biggest social media platforms. The fact that their site was still seemingly duct taped together was pretty fucking pathetic. Are we browsing Reddit? Whatever. Some link to an old band nobody gives a shit about. Some girl recovered from cancer, all boo-hoo, whatever. A neat picture probably found off of Google. A dog. Oh, thank God this user shared their picture of a dog. I really appreciate getting to see this specific dog. It's not like there are 100 goddamn dog pics posted to this hell site every day, Jesus Christ. If the worst you have to complain about on social media is dog pics, you're living a miserable life, my friend. It astounded me the shit people thought worth posting about. Wasn't there a rule about low-effort posting? Whatever. Oh, what's this? Dang, somebody did a whole stop-motion routine with their clothes. Unoriginal, but still impressive if for nothing else than the sheer amount of time that must have been poured into setting all this up. Honestly, it seemed a little pathetic. Who had so much time to be wasting it on things like that? Okay, so maybe it didn't look like I was exactly doing something of great importance either. Pot calling the kettle black and all. Look, I worked a lot, okay? Thankless work. More importantly, it was good to stay informed as to current trends. It was all part of my process. So yeah, maybe to the untrained eye, shitting around on Kamapa didn't exactly look like a productive use of time. But I knew what I was doing. Anyway, it was just for a bit of time every day. It's not like I was spending hours on it or anything. Let's see. Somebody said something dumb on Param, no surprise there. Oh, what's this? It was a news article. Olympia acquires Braggadocio, a chain of record stores. A chain mostly operated within Panthea. This is just another step on the path to Olympia creating a total monopoly of commerce in Panthea. This is actually a good business strategy. Let's see what our experts have to say on the matter. Dang, another one? I wanted to learn more. Clicked on the link and got taken to some online news site. I tried scrolling down the article, but instantly was blocked by a pop-up. Please disable your ad blocker. Fucking fine. Turn it off, refresh, instantly the entire screen was covered with garbage. Okay, so a quality news site then. Yeah, okay, not worth it. I guess the answers were yes and yes. I clicked off and looked at the comments on Panthea. TLDR Daysma says some shit about how music is close to his heart, whatever that means. Thank you, Lakuza. Business goons then somehow both say that we're not in danger of an Olympia monopoly, that them creating a monopoly is a genius business strategy. Playing both sides of the coin? Or as, less polite might say, talking out of both sides of their ass. 0 out of 10 article, site sucks, would not recommend. Tip puzzle? My favorite part about this whole article is this specific quote. Art dates back, current CEO of Olympia had this to say about the acquisition. I was motivated by my deep love of music. For me, music has always had a special place in my heart. I have a lot of fond memories about music, and I like to put on whenever I'm feeling down. Like, no shit, he likes music. Everybody likes music. The fact that they thought that was worth keeping in the interview? SMH. In response to that comment, yes, I too like your muzak. It is pleasing to my human ears. Art Daysman is clearly the Jeff Bezos of this world. Also in response to the comment, though with far more dislikes. Not even the fucking quote, bro. Or is it just copy C, copy V? The other comment captured the vibe quite succinctly. Etheridge. Hell yeah. Damn, I like Braggadocio. Last time I go there, lol. Honestly, we should have seen this coming. Remember the Braggadocio CEO's comments about Governor Aisha? About how she didn't have the right temperature to govern? In response to that, oof, did he actually say that? Walk. Yeah, but he did the posts hours later and never apologized, so not as many people know about it. Walk. Honestly, I'm not surprised it took this long for the shoe to drop if that's the case. I was tired of this typical Kamapa hive-minded work, so I decided to poke the nest a bit. Why are so many people mad about this? Olif? My local brag shop fucking sucked, lol. At least with this, they might get the funding to do their job right. Well, we'd see if anyone took that bait later. As I exited back to the main page, a song I had heard for the 100th time began to play. Okay, I was officially sick of my own playlist. This is what I got for not updating it frequently enough. I've been burned out of my own songs. What to listen to then? I'd heard some good things about this up-and-coming artist known as Tale. Decided to put on a shuffle for biggest hits. Back to scrolled on Kanapa. Repost. Ooh, a sketch. The video to find a pretty unfunny joke about some celebrity gossip I hadn't been keeping up with. Just great. Gave it the comment just to try and find anyone who agreed with me. Honestly, you could tell that I was actually Colin Mayers and I'd believed you. Hello, Mayo, how does this guy not have more followers? Grungle. Is this guy still making videos? Yeah, that was a dead end. Overrated IMO. Also, AFAIK, weren't those rumors proven untrue? Pretty fucked up if you asked me to joke about false allegations. Just saying. Back to the main page. Ooh, a nice sketch of a dog and a cat. Done this really cool pointless style. Okay, pointless is a very interesting style. Pointless style? I think that was the right art term, but to be honest, my knowledge was sketchy. But gave the post a like and went to the comments to leave some praise. Wow, what a great and original picture. Sarcasm. Seriously, you couldn't go past the front page of Google Images? For fuck's sake, link to what I'm talking about. God damn it, another art theft? What do these people get out of this? Karma. I turned my like to a dislike and went back to the main page. God, what was that screech? Okay, fuck this, Tale. You're officially not for me. Back to my playlist. Might be rote, but at least it wasn't shit. How'd I get any responses to my comment on the Olympia article? That felt sufficiently inflammatory, and the post was recent enough. I opened my inbox in another tab. Sure enough, it looked like I had some responses. Clicked on the link that took me to my comment. As expected, it was already the negatives on the like ratio. Now, what were people saying? Bootlicker. That was the most liked response. Quickly drafted a response to that. Another S-tier response from the commies, Lamau. What other replies did I get? Surprised you had that experience with Braggadocio. See, part of the reason I was so disheartened by this news was because I've loved Braggadocio. I've been there since I was a kid, and that's really fun memories. Back in 3rd grade, I was going through some... this story did not deserve a fucking paragraph, and I wasn't gonna read it. What else? Looks like the Olympia Defense Squad is still out in full force, lol. forgot why people like this exist. Like they seem too stupid that they shouldn't know how to use this site. I'm not defending shit, jackass. I'm asking a question. The fact that you couldn't explain FA proves that you don't know what the hell you're talking about either. Any other responses? It's not like Olympia acquiring companies on the face of things is bad. However, the problem is that when a single company gets this big, they start to act shitty. Some of this power equals how fucked up it will become. Not a fan of Olympia getting more powerful. It's already a complete shit show. Imagine what happens next. Finally, an actually intelligent response. Complete shit show. Clearly not if it's big enough to be acquiring everything, lol. Oh god. It's not equivalency, it's a real argument. It's not even based on anything. And finally, at the bottom of the pile of responses. Thank you. Oh, hi, Telestan. So fucking sick of the come up a hive mind. These morons get mad at everything and can't handle diverse thought. Alright, that was probably enough of that. Okay, Reddit troll. Back to the main page. Scrolling. Ooh, a Gambler's Fallacy sequel. Love the first film of that. Had a bunch of inaccuracies, but what can you do? The article on that recent double homicide. Yawn. Oh, is this the one that we've seen, perhaps? Next page. Somebody said something on Param and somebody made a very insightful retort. Cool, very funny. Another article headline. Governor Aisha passes revolutionary prison reform bill. First of its kind, it seeks to massively reform many of the issues facing the prison system. Well, that sounds pretty cool. Good for Aisha. I clicked on the link to the article just to skim through it. Luckily, this one was published by the Oracle, which didn't do the stupid pop-up thing. I'm shocked that the Oracle, which is Kane's weird shock jock news outlet. The article is way too long to actually be read, so let's just try and see the main points. Improved conditions, parole system rework, eliminating bias. Critics apparently claim it doesn't go far enough, or it's too little too late. Surprise, surprise there. Approval rating rose in response. Yeah, alright, just seemed like a pretty cool thing. Rare to get positive stories in politics. Nice when it happens. It's little people, I'm sure. What do the comments think of this one, though? This I was actually interested to see. The opinion on Aisha seemed to be somewhat split. Oddly enough, on a local scale, she was less than liked than she was on a national one. That tended to be the exact opposite of what normally happened. That said, Canoppa had this weird feature where it tried to prioritize local users and stories in your feed. Okay, so Twitter. So I was a lot more likely to get news and images and whatnot related to Panthea. I was more likely to see comments by Panthean users. According to the creator, it was something about trying to help foster communities and create connections. It was a gimmick as far as I was concerned. And on the news side, it was useful to be naturally fed more topical articles, instead of either just getting national or international news or defaulting to a specific Panthean feed. Anyways, time to see where people's heads were at. It's actually really encouraging to hear. I have an uncle who's currently in prison, and I hear a lot of horror stories from him. I know we have a tendency to dehumanize criminals, but most are there for non-violent crimes, and fundamentally they're all humans too. Great steps forward in the right direction. The comment had a bit more of a bleak take. Wow, a humanist law coming out right around election season. Right on schedule. I just a fucking hack and anyone falling for his shit a sheep. Bach or bust. Has anyone actually bothered reading through the changes? Like, don't get me wrong, they're definitely a step in the right direction. They don't really get to the heart of the issue. Whoever wrote this up is either a bit daft, doesn't really gaff. Weird how Aisha's very clearly changed her tune. And also remember the last time we heard her talking about prisons and stuff? I remember. Link for anyone else. Link for anybody interested. Bloop. Ah, I wonder what that guy was talking about. Intrigued, I clicked on the link. I was taken to another article. Panthea's prisons are appalling. Aisha's silence damning. Whoa, okay, strong title. Let's see if they could back that talk up. Quickly skim through some key seeming sentences in the article. Panthea has a fairly large prison population. Specifically, it has one of the highest prisoner-to-citizen ratios in the entire country. Much of this is likely due to the city's long and inextricably linked history with organized crime. For decades, Panthea has seemingly been a breeding place for violent gangs. There are several reasons why this city could be such a hotbox for this sort of activity. For one, its location as a portside city has made it a prime location for illegal smuggling by seaside. It also is an incredibly urban area with a high income inequality gap. Another reason for these gangs, the fact of the matter is, they've led to Panthean prisons being fairly cramped. However, not until a recent undercover operation was revealed just how miserable these living conditions have been. It appears in a bid to cut costs, several things that seem like basic rights have been restricted or otherwise compromised. And it goes into some boring details. Bad conditions for criminals, justice is bad, yada yada. Okay, picking up where Aisha's given her quote. Obviously, we're looking into the situation independently. However, from the evidence that's presented, I believe it is quite a stretch to claim that any human rights have been infringed. True, prisoners may not get the same treatment as customers of a fancy hotel, but I give the people every assurance that Panthea looks out for every citizen, regardless of circumstances. I am more than certain that Warden Pei has been doing her best to run a clean operation. He continues to waffle for a bit longer, and eventually the author cuts to the point. It is difficult to take Governor Aisha at her word, however. After all, it was she herself who helped get Miss Cammy Pei to the position of prison warden. Aisha's denial and refusal to take action on the situation comes more across as a carefully calculated political move to limit damage than a sincere one. Looking at her past, this isn't the first example of this type of behavior from Miss Aisha. It raises a very fundamental and frightening question. Can we believe in our current administration? Damn. After finishing the article, I was left just a little bit stunned. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a well-written article. What I read, anyways. Had a lot of facts, a lot of citations and like. Raised interesting points. Made those points well. Took a combative yet respectful stance. By all means, it was an example of some stellar journalism. However, that's what sort of made me confused. You could take the article how you wanted, but very clearly this was a directed attack at Governor Aisha. At least partially, at any rate. And yet, looking at the site I was reading, the article was from the Oracle. Oh. The Oracle was a lot of things, but the one thing I thought it was fairly consistent on was its support of Governor Aisha. Yeah, this article was from some time ago. Now we're getting to something interesting. Now we're getting to something interesting, indeed. Is this telling us that at one point in time, Cain changed his outlook? Went from a fair and rational, fair critic of the government to a blind supporter of the government. Still, I wasn't aware that the Oracle had changed so much in a relatively short period of time. It was my impression that it had always been staying the course for years at the very least. Who wrote this thing anyways? Scrolled up the top of the page and found my answer. Oh. Well, that explains some things. The article was written by J.C. Nazia. Oh! But he knew her quite well. As opposed to a lot of the other staff, she had written a number of fairly edgy and controversial pieces. Many aimed at the establishment. I decided I felt like going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Not that I expected much to come of it. But who knows, just going down internet searches from time to time could be, at the very least, cathartic. And in rare cases, useful. I clicked the Oracle's main page. There I found a link to a page about the site stab. It's a list of names, faces, and short bios. A lot shorter list than I would have expected. The Oracle is a decently big news site, especially in Panthea itself. I guess they just had a lot of hard workers. The top of the list was one familiar face, Kane Shea, Editor-in-Chief. Kane Shea is the founder of the Oracle. He's made it his mission ever since he was young to bring the truth to the people. Ever since he was young, he was fascinated by politics and current events. That interest culminated in the creation of the Oracle, a news site dedicated to looking at all stories, no matter how large or small. Kane Shea currently lives in the heart of urban Panthea, working hard to bring in the freshest scoops. Shea doesn't have any living family. He's not in a relationship. So keep your eyes out, ladies. And gentlemen. Possibly. He says that his true love is journalism. No family, huh? That reminded me of something. Oh right, Kane's parental past. Definitely heard something about that on Campa at some point. Still couldn't remember specifics, though. Looked up Kane Shea parents online in a separate tab. A number of articles popped up. Let's see, give me the goods. There, I clicked on a random one. Recent tragedy at Panthea. Daniel Shea murdered his wife Saria in a fit of passion. Early reports claim Daniel also intended to murder his son but was unable to locate him. Seriously? Holy shit, that's fucked up. Daniel was killed in a firefight with the police during his arrest. Yeah, that was enough about that. See, messy, poor Kane, yada yada. That probably scarred him some way bad. My gut told me that the incident was in some way connected with why Kane ultimately ended up being so infatuated with Governor Aisha, but no idea how. I'd gotten sidetracked. Went back to the staff list. Looked around for the name JC. I wasn't able to find it. At some point she was removed from the staff list. Aha! I suppose that made some amount of sense. That wasn't particularly helpful to me. I opened a new tab and opened up a website which could travel back in time, digitally speaking. Let's see how far back I'd have to go to see her on that staff list. Looked at a month. Looked at 3 months. It took me 8 months before I saw a notable change. There she was. JC Nizea, investigative journalist. Read over her bio, but it almost seemed like typical filler fluff. Jeez. Why'd she even work for the Oracle in the first place? She seemed pretty opposed to a lot of what they believed. Felt like a match of oil and water to me. But hey, people had reasons for what they did. The Oracle had probably helped their public perception to have at least one author who had an opposing belief from the rest of the staff. If you wanted to be generous, you could even say that they wanted to remove their bias by hiring her. Very generous. And for JC's part, there were also some good reasons. For one, it was a paying gig, which didn't hurt. If she believed in what she wrote, which she definitely did, the Oracle had a decent readership. Writing for them got her work in front of a lot of eyes. I guess the arrangement did make sense now that I was thinking about it more. Decided to look up JC Nazia online. Yeah, as expected. Mostly getting articles written by her. We found a single article about her actual disappearance. Remember the article getting to the front of Kamapa, so I expected that the story was reasonably known. At the very least, that there'd be more stuff talking about it. I mean, JC was at least somewhat in the public eye. You'd have to think people cared at least somewhat what happened to her. I might as well reread that one article anyways. It had been a while since I had saw it. Yeah, skimming through, not a lot of details. Unclear what happened to her. Co-workers reported her missing. There are signs that she fled from her apartment. Please consider it an ongoing investigation. At present, no body has been found. I had to imagine that that last aspect hadn't changed. No matter what, if a journalist turned up dead, somebody would have said something. As it stands, maybe this hasn't gotten much media attention because it might look like she simply left town. That's what some of the evidence seemed to imply, based on the article. If a body was ever found, then it'd turn into a murder case. So probably this was all that was ever found out about JC Thezia's disappearance. That still felt weird, though. Even without a body, for someone to just disappear. No, not just somebody. There were a lot of somebodies who disappeared in Panthea. But a journalist? One with multiple controversial takes. There had to be some people who wanted to know more about that. Why hadn't the Oracle published an article about this? Or a statement? Had they? Looking around, I couldn't find one. I changed tabs back to my comments on the Olympia article. Odds were I got at least one more response to one of my replies. Sure enough, the most level-headed of the commenters I had run into gave me another reply. By equivalency, it might not be literal fact, but it's basically fact. Every single example in history supports that rule. And just because Olympia as a company is doing well doesn't mean that it's not fucked. Let me tell you, Olympia is going down a proper shady path at the moment. There's rampant abuse of power, toxic company culture. Employees are the subject of abuse all the time. Yeah, Olif, essentially your response is a false equivalency. You're saying why are they fucked when they're rich and powerful enough to buy more companies? That's a false equivalency. So yeah, I think my point still ends. Abuse of power. Now this felt like an interesting line to pursue. Let's see if he couldn't try and push for a bit more information. Given the temperament and likely position of this user, just asking for more straight up would be a fool's errand. However, if I gave him a push, employee abuse, lol. How many times are we gonna hear that with no proof? Grow up. Internet discourse. Everybody hates their job. Because your pay is shit and your hours are shit don't mean you're being abused. Anyways, obvious bias is obvious. Let me guess, you were fired? That should probably do it. Tap back in my other search. Didn't believe that there wasn't any other credible coverage of the JC situation. Decided to scrounge about a bit more. After going down the search results for a bit, I did notice something interesting. Linked to a post from a blog site entitled Panthea in Heaven. Alright, I'll bite. I opened the link and immediately I was somewhat appalled by what I was seeing. Holy shit, was I in the last decade or something? User interface of this shit was pretty not great. Gold and black background with green text and an ugly font. Oh boy. It was a little bit charming, but more so annoying. Definitely ruled out the credible article idea in my mind. But might as well read through it. Going through it, I realized this wasn't really anything special. The post pretty much talked about everything that the initial article said. Also talked about JC's past works in journalism, speaking about her in fairly high regards. At the end, though, it did make an interesting point. Echoed my concerns about why nobody was talking about it. However, they took it a step further. They claimed this was a part of a cover-up. The reason that people weren't talking about it was because the people in power didn't want this to be talked about. So there were people who said things like this, huh? Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to believe the author held incredible truths about Panthea's nature, the delivery was all wrong. Sloppy, conspiratorial. Speaking without evidence or direction. No, this was pure speculation on the article's part. I was intrigued with the site, though. I decided to click onto the main homepage. It certainly made the whole biblical angle of the site's theming more blatant. Most of the homepage just showed recent posts, typical stuff. However, there was a certain message emblazoned at the top in blocky gold letters that, well, it kind of spoke for itself. Walled off by its golden gates, Panthea poses as a heaven. truth, it is ruled by an almighty power, a god. God of Panthea has blinded the masses and controls the city. This site is the only one which can reach the truth hidden away behind gold locks. Okay then. That was certainly a take, I suppose. Felt vaguely cultish. But hey, cults are interesting. I was looking to kill time, I could do a lot worse than poking around here. There was something always amusing to me about crazy conspiracies and such. Like they weren't real or anything. They were a fun example of human creativity. I decided to click the About Us button to try and get a more formalized version of what this site's thesis was. Indeed, the button led to a paragraph. However, before I read anything else, my eyes caught the name of the author. The Devil. Oh. Okay then. I like that. I could dig the satanic vibe. So, Devil, blow me away. Have you ever felt like something wasn't right about Panthea? Ever felt like you were going crazy, seeing patterns that didn't connect? Ever wonder why this place could be so full of contradictions? Why to the world we could look like a saintly place, yet at the same time be a hellhole to the citizens? Why gangs have never seemed to leave? What if I told you that this wasn't haphazard? These weren't just coincidences. This was a calculated conspiracy. I know, this sounds crazy. I mean, I'm literally using the word conspiracy to describe it. If you're reading this, I think you're the type to look beyond such surface descriptions. I trust you're intelligent enough to hear me out. You see, as a long-time resident of Panthea, I've been collecting information for decades. And there are patterns you can find. Information that doesn't get advertised. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe 5 of these things on their own could be meaning this. But all culminated. At some point, it's beyond coincidence. The same people, same families, same groups have thrived in this city for decades. They are unimpeachable. While the city looks chaotic, it's actually quite organized. While we fight amongst ourselves, people prosper. This isn't a mistake. When you look at the evidence, it becomes clear that we are mere chess pieces being moved about by a greater hand. A god. God of Panthea, the one controlling all the strings. They shape the city to their desires. Our lives are their mere whims. Intrigued? Then enter this site. I have taken great efforts to catalog all the minor details, small patterns, all the things that God hopes that we will ignore. And through this, I hope to expose the God of Panthea. To dethrone them. To this end, I have taken up a fitting name. I am the Devil of Panthea. Read more, and you'll soon see that joining my satanic army is the only correct option. Wow. I mean, wow. Give the devil this, they knew how to entertain. Sure, it felt like a grade schooler's idea of prose. The devil had me hooked. It was a solid premise. I'd read a novel based on this idea. Somehow I doubted I should be taking all this too seriously. But what did I know? Decided to get a second opinion. Look at the site's name. Wondering if anyone had bothered to look into this person. surprise, surprise, somebody had bothered to look into the site. An article written for the Oracle. Oh. I wondered for a second. Looking in the article, I looked at the author's name. No, not a name I recognized. Just one of the standard employees. Well, while I was here, I might as well read through the article. It told me pretty much what I expected. Devil wasn't exactly a credible investigator into corruption. The article pointed out how numerous of the site's posts just straight up contain factual errors. He also talked about how other posts seemed to misunderstand basic logic fundamentals like cause and effect or how probability worked. It mentioned that because so much happens in Panthea, the devil has a lot to pull from to try and make arguments. The article then theorizes that the devil, judged by some of his posts, is probably just some disgruntled lower-class worker who couldn't accept that their place in life was their own fault. Alright, showing a bit of that oracle bias at the end there. Finally, the author concludes that this site is not just stupid, but actively dangerous. The ill-conceived propaganda may be obviously nonsense to us, but the author sounds convincing enough. You never know what sort of empty person will take these writings at face value and do something stupid. Also, I had to agree on that last part. Reviewing this site as some fun time waste was underselling it. It was even disrespectful. Devil was clearly deeply deluded and liked leading others astray as well. But I mean... Also, it did act as a good way to kill time, so there is that. I decided to look through the site some more. There's a decent array of articles to sort through. They were, at the very least, entertaining. Better written than I'd expected. And informative. You know, maybe writing this guy off completely wasn't such a good idea. Now to be clear, in no way was I being brainwashed into believing some stupid conspiracy about a city god. I was very self-aware about this. Just, you know, the devil raised some good points. If you look past the sloppiness and franticness, there was actually quite a lot of value to be read in these articles. I think also was a good reminder of how fucked up things were. I don't know. There were certain situations I looked at and thought, yeah, you know, he makes a decent point. Like, there were definite connections. The governor certainly shouldn't have had the power to appoint the chief of police. It definitely seemed prime for corruption. And just directly looking at the crime statistics, yeah, Olympia should be hurting a lot more than they are. What was the deal with these new servers being built all around town? Why can't we find out more about them? New servers? Some of the stories were just straight up dumb. The devil reported on this one rumor about someone seeing this female police officer putting on a jet black mask at night. Oh. That one felt like something was just yanking his chain. And there was this one story about an underground network of homeless people that smuggled things underneath the city. I think I'd know about that if that was happening. So like I said, it was hit or miss. But you know, at the very least, it got me interested. Whether or not he was drawing the right conclusions, it was clear at the very least that the devil had quite a bit of information. Something also caught my eye while going through the articles. The devil made frequent calls to action. Specifically about getting in touch with him if you had any information information or if you wanted to join the Satanic Army. A contact button was glowing gold left all the articles as well, so clearly it was something that this person prioritized. So then, why not take him up on his offer? What's the harm? I clicked the contact button. I don't know what I was expecting, but just being taken to a page with a single email address written out was a bit underwhelming. Whatever, I could work with it. I copied the email address. Then I opened my email account. Then I promptly closed it and opened up an alt. There we go. Probably an unnecessary caution. Then again, judging by the character I was contacting, couldn't hurt to be better safe than sorry. I pasted the email address and began thinking of a proper subject line. About the god of Panthea probably worked, right? Now what to say? I wanted to get information out of him, I'd probably be best to bluff a bit. Just replying as a fan sounded boring. Alright then, time to spin a bit of a story. Greetings, Devil. I recently stumbled across your website, Pantheon Heaven. I have to say, I was impressed. While I have some issues with the claims you're presenting, you're clearly a very knowledgeable person. You seem like the type to give truth that others can't handle. I'm a private investigator. I'm trying to uncover some of the truth that the city has hidden beneath the surface. I believe you might be a valuable source of information. I'd like to pick your brain on a few matters. If it's not in your trouble, that is. Hope this message reaches you in good health. Olif. Yeah, that sounded about right. Someone like this, a message like this could absolutely work. Read over my message one more time to make sure everything looked good, then hit the send button. Cool. Interesting to see how that pans out. Not this thing again. I decided to check back in on the comment thread via the Olympia thing. Oh, looks like I got a response. Oh, and an angry one, too. Fun. Let's see, you're fucking trolling, dude. Nice guess, asshole, but completely wrong. Good to know you're just the presumptuous prick I thought you were, though. For whatever it's worth, I'm actually a fairly high-ranking member within the company right now. That's why I can say for 100% certain that the company is currently in an absolutely dreadful place. That's why I care about it so much. You should demon. I know for certain that there's a guy at the same level as me that routinely treats women very inappropriately. The company won't do anything about it because he's a competent earner. The other side of things, the CEO has recently been suggesting but really demanding people take a lot of overtime. The whole corporate culture is intentionally kept very tense and combative. I know for a fact managers of lower divisions are specifically instructed not to let people get too content or connected. Union busting? There it is. I suspect this last touch might be a hollow effort to try and prevent unions from popping up. So yeah, mic drop. Get bandmade. Oh, wasn't this the cheeky reply? I liked it, I really did. For it, I was starting to feel bad, thinking I was actually making somebody legitimately upset who was just trying to help. For a bit, I had a bit of fucking humanity. Good no, I was just having a back and forth with another internet dipshit like plenty of other times. Not a particularly smart internet dipshit, I had to say. I mean, really, you think a high-ranking member of Olympia would be spending their time arguing on come-up threads? Get real. If they had gone for a low-level worker, maybe I would have bought it. But nah, this person was bullshitting. Knew how to call them on it. Really? Wow, what a load of horse shit. I didn't want to say this, but as a matter of fact, I'm actually an employee of Olympia, high-ranking 1 and 2. That's how I know these examples you gave are total bullshit. I don't even have the faintest idea what you're talking about. Art has certainly not been pushing for more overtime as of late. Who the fuck? And send. I probably set things straight. Or stir the beehive more, either or. It's going to move to another tab, but already I got a response. Wow, that was a quick one. Press the page, and sure enough, another comment had popped up. Wow, that's low, even for Kamapa. Simple employee, what title do you hold? Which facility do you work at? What level clearance do you have? I'm pretty sure that last question was bait. In fact, the whole barrage had just been bait. Instead of shoring up their own position, they decided to go on the offensive. Yeah, because they see you as a fucking troll and a dipshit, like you are, Olaf. They were calling my bluff. Probably worked out I was bullshitting the same way I had figured they were. Alright, then game on. Again, typing my response. Yeah, okay, I'm sure. I'm just gonna give personal details and probably gonna come up and thread lol. The fact you'd even ask me shit like this proves that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Think you want my boss catching wind of this convo? Send. Yeah, that should sufficiently fend them off. After After all, they'd likely switch to asking less personal questions. Those questions would either be the type that could easily be looked up, or the type that were completely unverifiable. Good luck cornering me like that. Pulled up my phone. I had things relating to my work that I wanted to check on. Got lost in those details for a little bit. After a brief pause, I decided to go back to the computer. Refreshed the page and expected a snide response. What I got? Holy shit, seriously? LMAO, this you? Link. Reluctantly, I clicked on the link. It took me to a Pyram account. Profile picture was an acne-ridden redhead forcing an awkward smile. Bio, waiter at Casones, looking for my big break. What the fuck? How the hell did this person get their hands on this profile? How much effort did they... This was a pointless internet argument. They were really gonna go all Matrix and shit for a conversation that barely anybody was paying attention to? Fucked up, man. Fucked up. You know what? I'm not gonna take this shit lying down. You think doxing is fair game? Then let's fucking go. I can tit for tat you all day. Hacking certainly wasn't my primary skill set. Trolling is your primary skill set, you little dick. I also wasn't rubbish at it. Let's see what we can do. Well. Look what we have here. Seems we've got ourselves a little minigame on our hands. Hacking minigame, to be specific. Really? This jackass is our hacker? Goody. I always wished I was good with technology stuff. I always thought it would be cool. Sure as hell would be useful. But I've got people for that. But it appears our hero here has no such luck. He must have valiantly go it alone. But how? Let me show you how hacking works with a little example. Right, we're in the hackosphere. The netaverse. The cybersphere. Or some poor approximation of it, I suppose. I looked on my ass for the graphics. Running the whole thing's a lot of work. I had shit to do. Anyways, in front of us we have the hacking grid. Right now all 25 of these cyber tiles are live. And by clicking on them, you can kill any of them. If you kill the right tiles and submit your answer, the hacking will be a success. Easy, right? Oh yeah, you've actually got to figure out what the right tiles are, huh? Yeah, that's a wee bit more tricky. But no worries, it's all based off a simple set of rules. Let me show you how it's done. Just Minesweeper. First of all, you're never gonna have to kill a tile with a number on it. Just put that thought out of your head. See, the number describes the size of its region. The region is a group of live tiles which are directly connected. That is to say, no diagonals. The region is, by its very definition, surrounded by dead tiles. To see those puny 1 tiles? Pretty easy shit right there. Since the regions are only one large, not a lot of thought is needed to figure out that first move. There we go. Nice and isolated as it should be. Now here's the next important rule. Live tiles can only exist in a numbered region. No live tile stragglers allowed. I mean, that's just data that doesn't store any information. Can you say redundant? Right now I see 2 live tiles that can't possibly connect to a numbered region. You see them? Great. Let's kill them. Booyah. Double kill. Alrighty then, what's next? Oh, right. You have to be careful about killing those cyber tiles. To completely fry the mainframe. Hacker speak. So you're also not allowed to have a 2x2 square of dead tiles. This rule can be a real pain in the ass, so try not to let it trip you up. This rule in mind, you see what we need to do? These are the tiles we've already killed. There's now 1 tile we're not allowed to kill. 2x2 square of dead. The tile right above the... Oh, yes. The upper 2. That's fine. We'll just incorporate that into that 2's live region. Well, then let's create that region. Cool. What else? There's something else I'm forgetting. Oh. Any given live region can only have 1 number tile in it. Each number tile gets its own live region. Simple precaution to prevent data override. On the bottom row, that 2 in 3 are looking awfully friendly. Can't have that now, can we? I'd separate them by killing the tile between them. Oh, if we do that, figuring out the region with the 2 tiles should be pretty simple, huh? I'll just go ahead and do that for us. One final itsy-bitsy thing to remember. I know, last rule, I promise. All the dead tiles must be directly connected, forming one large, contiguous wall. Because hacker reasons. The dead tile separating the 2 and the 3 is currently disconnected. Let's quickly fix that little situation. Where'd my mouse go? There you are. Okay, so no 1x1 tiles. Now we're at the final stretch. One region left to create. No new rules to introduce, though. You should be able to figure out the last step by yourself. So not the bottom corner. It's gonna go like this, I'm guessing. Got it. Yes, cool. Be worried if you didn't, being honest. It's gonna go like that. See, it's simple. No, not like that. Could go like this. Because we can't make this a dead tile, because that'd make a 2x2 dead tile square. Can't kill the tile right above the 3, or else we'd be creating a 2x2 square of dead tiles. We can't kill the tile to the right of the 3, because that dead tile will be disconnected from the great dead wall. So by process of elimination, the 2 tiles to kill bring the region to mere 3 live tiles are easy to spot. And huzzah! Each number has its own live region, each with the correct number of directly connected live tiles. All the dead tiles are directly connected, and there are no 2x2 dead squares. There are no live tiles outside of a numbered live region, and no live region has multiple numbered tiles within it. I think we can call that a job well done. All that's left to do is submit. So that's that. Hacking tutorial completed. Now you 100% understand how to solve these puzzles. You got all that right? You get how to solve these hacking puzzles? Yeah, but it's always preferable to understand things more. I suppose it's a free country. I tease. Oh, don't worry if you're just lying to me there. You can always just skip these puzzles if they're not your cup of tea. Of course, if you skip, you're not going to win any chips. Oh, did I not mention? Yes, these hacking includes our prime time to score a few chips here and there. You're welcome, by the way. Not that I do it out of generosity. The more chips I give you, the more you can lose gambling to me. It's a very everybody wins situation, you understand. Okay, now for the important question. How confident are you in solving these sorts of puzzles? Let's set your difficulty level. Just be clear, the little doodad I just showed you. Baby shit. It's like a fraction of the potential these bad boys might reach. This isn't your thing. If you're kind of struggling to follow along, swallow your pride and choose easy. This feels somewhat interesting, and you have a decent head on your shoulders. Take the safe play and choose normal. This is very much your shit. If you felt bored just by that explanation, please shoot for the moon with hard. But of your choice, you can't change it later, so make sure you're sure. I'm not scared, give me hard. Hard mode, eh? And you're sure about that? Alright, I won't question you, you know best. If for whatever reason you're not up to it, you can always skip. But I've thoroughly killed the pacing, and I'm sure you just want me to shut up and let you get to the hacking. That point was already moved, guys. Go on ahead. Oh boy. Okay, this is serious. Oh boy. I feel like we can instantly take these out. Oh shit. This is 1, 2, 3. This has to be a live tile. Oh shit. That's a live tile. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not a 1 by 1, that's connected. Let's actually save the status of the puzzle I'm filling out. It does. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, they weren't fucking around with it. They weren't fucking around with this, were they? So these both can't be dead. Guesses they're gonna go in here. Fill that in. These are going to be connected because this has to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is live. How is that live? Oh shit. Okay. Okay, so this does just restart us. Top number must be in a group of exact that many numberless live tiles, surrounded by dead tiles. So no 2x2 square. That can't be dead. It feels like it's a safe bet that these get blocked off. Yeah, because so there's no good way for this 6 to come down here and interact with this 5. The 6 has to go up here. And call this here. This 5 could in theory look like this. Or this. That's not gonna work. That could work, though. Three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we seeing anything that can't work? Oh shit. Not gonna work. You need to get cut off here. it still works. Alright, what does this button do? Alright, we've been stumbling around for a bit too much here. That's a skip button. Alright, I don't want to skip. Right yet. We'll be back. Okay, after entirely too long off screen, I think we got it. 3, 7, 3, 6, 1, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 6, 3, 3. No 2x2 blocks. No 2x2 dead tiles. No stranded dead tiles. 7 chips. Oh? Oh? Yes, okay, hell yeah, I had a trace. Now let's see here. Damn. Yes, I stood corrected. The profile I was looking at was indeed a member of Olympia. Chara Tucker. Some chick who dyed her hair pink from the look of this picture. How did she get to that position in the company at so young an age? She must have been pretty intelligent. Which made it even weirder that she was spending her time having internet arguments with randos. Not just arguments, doing legitimate hacking to prove a point. That's sad. Went back to the thread and responded. Wow, Chara, doxing? Expected better behavior from one of Olympia's chief directors. Said. Hopefully that should put a bit of fear into her. Ah yes, this is appropriate. Serves her right. My eyes were then drawn to a little notification on one of my tabs. My old email account had received a message. I tapped over and sure enough the devil had already responded. Sick. That was a fast response time. Guess he probably had a lot of free time. That tracks. I put the email excited to see what he had to say. Olif, thank you for your email. I am grateful that you reached out for me for your task. Couldn't have chosen a better person. Seems we share a common goal in trying to expose Panthea's true side to the larger world. See how some of my conclusions might appear strained, however. There's a lot of data to pore over, and simply many things we don't know. I'd love to hear some of your opinions on what's really going on. Perhaps we can compare notes. Until now, this was about what I expected. Then the email took a turn I didn't see coming. To be honest, I actually have more evidence that I haven't posted to the site. Incontrovertible evidence. It's not exactly the type of thing I feel confident sharing with the general public given my current situation. However, if it would aid your investigation, I'd be happy to share it with you. The devil. Huh. That was, I leaned back in my chair, trying to consider what to make of that response. Almost fell off due to my shitty chair. Then noticed I had a notification from another tab. I'd gotten a direct message on Kanapa. Okay, let's see what this was about. Moved over to that tab and checked my messages. It was from Chara. If you know who I am, you should know better than anybody that what I was talking about was absolutely legitimate. I poured through your message history and your true intent became pretty clear. You're just trolling to try and get reactions, right? You're just bored. Let me fix that. Delete the last comment you made now, keep my identity to yourself, and I can give you some real juicy shit about Olympia. That was a response. Interesting counterattack, I had to be honest. Really, dude? Damn, my internet shitting was internet shitting was really starting to produce results. Not one, but two people offering some exclusive information to myself. For the first time, I had to ask myself, did I actually want these answers? Kind of felt like I was getting in the middle of something completely else. There was some sort of major conspiracy like the devil claimed that getting this evidence would be painting a pretty big target on my back. Honestly, I didn't know how to approach the Chara situation at all. The deadlock we were at right now just felt weird to me. Because you're an internet troll. And she's actually trying to raise grievances in a place that might actually listen. Since her workplace isn't. But I mean, hey, I was getting information. That's what I wanted. So what the hell, let's see what these people knew. Be dicking around on the internet would end up being productive after all. Bronze key? That gave us a bronze key? Isn't the internet a wonderful place? It's like a big masquerade party with an infinite number of attractions. Potential is, well, limitless. It's no exaggeration to call it a world unto itself. Bad world at times, for sure, for sure. A dangerous one with pitfalls and villains and the like. At times a strange and confusing world. Sometimes a wonderful world. But it's as much a new world as any ultimate dimension. Which I guess makes our Olif here an interdimensional adventurer. Interdimensional troll. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Although it's worth noting that they have seemingly stumbled into something bigger than themselves. Two somethings. You know what? Let's table the devil discussion. I'm sure we can talk about that sometime else. I'm more interested in what Miss Tucker had to say. She's offering some quote-unquote real juicy shit. Enticing to be sure. But do you think it's legit? I mean, really, think about it. Think about what sort of person we've seen so far. I think there's a pretty good chance that she's just taking the piss again. I don't know, maybe it's genuine. Say, why don't we bet on it? Is Chara actually genuinely reaching out? Or just going to engage in some counter-trolling? If it turns out she's counter-trolling, then well fucking played. Then I will gladly hold that L if it turns out that Chara is counter-trolling. And that's our cue to end the video. Time for another bet. Until next time, then? Until then. Olif's kind of a dick. Jesus Christ, dude.